Philly 254 living life. Back at it. So what we got? We are here to discuss the age-old, it's not really an age-old question. It's just a question that people definitely have asked at least. Which cloud service is best? Stadia or Luna? I'll let you know how I feel in the end, but ultimately it's gonna be up to your situation and how you feel. So, but let's go over some of the comparisons, right? So we're gonna start with the price. Stadia. It does definitely have a free tier. You can just set up a Stadia account and start purchasing games and you're done, right? You got those games, they're yours. Do what you want with it. Play them, live your best life. It also has Stadia Pro, which is $9.99. What do you get with Stadia Pro? You get that 4K streaming option. The most important thing is you get the Stadia Pro games. So what is the Stadia Pro games? About 5 games per month. Free of charge. They're yours. Keep them. All you gotta do is hit the little claim button on Stadia, and they're yours. You ain't gotta worry about it ever again. Now, if you choose not to pay the $9.99 or you let it lapse or whatnot, you lose the Stadia Pro games until you go and renew. So if you let it lapse and then 3 months later you decide to go ahead and sign up for Stadia Pro again, well, not sign up, but start paying Stadia Pro again, all the games you claimed come right back. All right, so just FYI. But you do have to physically go and claim each game. They're not just going to automatically be yours. So then, of course, Stadia does have Ubisoft Plus or Pro or whatever you want to call it, $15 a month. So what do you get on Ubisoft Plus? It's not every Ubisoft game, but you get quite a few. You do get quite a few. Ubisoft is real big with cloud gaming. It really is. You get quite a few games, and just like Stadia Pro, if you let it lapse, you don't pay, you lose the games that you had, but you don't lose the access. So the progress. So once you pay, decide to renew your Ubisoft subscription through Stadia, progress is returned. Every game you had, you was playing Far Cry, you was almost done, and you let it last for 3 months, you come back, and now you pick up right where you left off with Far Cry. That's the same thing with Stadia Pro. I forgot to mention. Not only do you get the games back, but you do get the progress remains the same. So you don't have to worry about losing progress. Now, that's pretty much all I got with Stadia Pro. Luna has quite a few different things. And see, their gaming, I guess, their pay tier is a little bit different. So with Stadia Pro, you're really not paying. You do get more. You do get a few free games. But those free games, again, they're still payable. So, for example, those games are not just available to only Stadia Pro members. You can not have Stadia Pro and just go buy the games if you want to. Those ones that were given out for Stadia Pro. Oh, one other thing about Stadia Pro is you do get game sales based on being on Stadia Pro. So certain games will get knocked off on price if you're a Stadia Pro member. So FYI. Luna, on the other hand, its paid services they lock out game access. So you got Luna Plus, which is the one that I have for my son. You get, I think, the majority of the games at that point. You just get a variety of their games. You get a good idea of what games they have. Family is going to be more family-oriented, so you're just going to get games that are just meant for kids, basically. Retro, so Luna Plus is $9.99 a month. Family is $5.99 per month. Retro is to get some of the older games. Your original Street Fighter 2. I'm assuming some other just old school games, Castlevania or something. That's $4.99 per month. Ubisoft, they have their own Ubisoft, and it's very similar to Stadia, or Stadia's Ubisoft, in the sense that you're not going to get every Ubisoft game, but you're getting quite a few, So that's $17.99 per month. Jackbox games, those are like party games. I didn't even put the price on there, so I have to put it up on the screen when I get it. But Jackbox games, I think it's $2.99 per month. I'll double check that to verify. But it's $2.99 per month, I believe, on Jackbox games. Tongue-tied. And then, of course, if you're a Amazon Prime member, you do get free access to a few games. It's like 5 or 6 or something. I can't remember the exact number. You get free access to a few games, and they rotate in and out. And then that's kind of just give you an idea what Luna's all about, basically. Now, keep in mind, I mentioned they rotate in and out. They rotate in and out so the 5 games you get access to are typically the same games that were on the Luna Plus tier. You just get 5 of those games, and they rotate in and out from the Luna Plus tier. Now Luna Plus, or I think any of the actual tiers, all those games will rotate in and out from what I understand. They do add games, I just don't know how often they add them. So they do add games, just FYI. All right, but I will say it at least gives you an idea. If you just want some games for your younger child, you can get the family tier for $5.99 and call it a day. You don't have to get the $9.99 and get the whole WAP, whatever you want to do. So, compatible devices. So, they actually pretty much share the same compatible devices. Stadia, Windows PC, Android TV, Chromebook, iOS devices via Safari browser, FYI, MacBook, some smart TVs. I've seen a few posts on Reddit where people has also gotten to work on Fire Sticks and Fire TVs via the Silk browser. It's been kind of hit and miss, so try it if you want. And same thing with the Fire tablet. All right. Luna, same thing. Windows PCs, Android TV, Chromebook, iOS devices, MacBook, Fire Stick, and Fire tablets. Oh, Fire TVs, of course, and smart TVs as well. So both of those that have smart TVs, it's not every smart TV will have it. Some will have it, some won't. So just kind of FYI on that. So, the number of games each devices as of 7/30/22, basically July 30th, 2022. Stadia has 290 games available, and Luna has 120. So Luna has some catching up to do. But keep in mind, Luna did come out after Stadia, so of course, it's not gonna have as many. Streaming quality, Stadia is at its peak. Is this what you paying for Pro? 4K at 4K. Luna, 1080p. That's the highest it'll go. As far as actual compatible controllers, Stadia, you can use Stadia controller. Pretty much any third-party Bluetooth controller will work with Stadia. Xbox controllers, PlayStation, and Luna if wired in, and the Bluetooth. So keep in mind, both the Stadia and Luna controllers connect to their services via Wi-Fi. Preferred method is via Wi-Fi. So just FYI. But so the Luna controller technically will work with Stadia, but not with Wi-Fi, but with wired. If you wired in, because you can't connect wired in, or with Bluetooth. Luna has, of course, the Luna controller, third-party Bluetooth controllers, Xbox, and PlayStation. I've looked up a few Reddit threads and even tried it myself. Stadia controller doesn't really work. I think some people said it kind of got it to work, but then it wouldn't work. It's really iffy, so I just wouldn't even add to the list. The Stadia controller just doesn't want to play nice with Luna. So just FYI. So, which is best? Honestly, I'm gonna tell you my opinion. Stadia. I just like the fact that you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. You just get on there, buy the games you want, and just play them. Now, if you want to pay, you get a few perks. You get some free games, but it's nothing that you couldn't buy already. It's just here you go. Thank you for buying Stadia. So you get a few free games a few times a month. And the 4K is opened up. I wish it was opened up with the free, but I guess you got to entice you somehow. And of course, with the Pro, you get the discounts. So this, but you don't have to have the Pro. That's the cool thing about it. You do not have to have the Pro. So you can just buy the game. You can set up Stadia account and just buy what you want and play what you want and call it a day at that and be perfectly happy. Luna, I always said I'm not a fan of the rotating game, the Netflix rotating game system where you can get deep into a game and then next thing you know, they decided to rotate it out and now you don't have the game anymore. But I do like the fact that I guess in a way you can pick and choose the type of games you want as far as with their paid services. So they have so many tiers, you can kind of break it down and say, okay, well, I don't want this, but I want this. I don't want all these games. I just want these little kid games. So you can just pay that the cheaper kid tier. Same thing with the Jackbox games. I think what I said was $2.99. Shoot, You pay that and you play that if that's all you wanted, or you do the little party games and pay the cheaper price for the party games if that's all you wanted. So that's kind of cool. But they don't have a really good free tier. I mean, the free tier per se is not really even free because you have to be an Amazon Prime member, and Amazon Prime ain't free. So you're technically still paying for that free tier anyway. But that free tier, as it's per se, as they call it, it technically, you only get a handful of games, and it's really just to kind of get your mouth wet. Kind of give you an idea of what it's gonna be like if you were to pay money for the rest of it. Another issue is the selection of games. So Stadia, to be honest with you, I have an issue with the selection of games as well. It does not have a high selection of games, and even still, it doesn't have a big selection of the games it does have. It doesn't have a big selection of AAA or even AA games. A lot of it's indie games. They're fun, but sometimes I just want to play a top tier game that just came out. You know what I'm saying? Luna is, think of that, but Luna's even less, even fewer games. So, I'm thinking if I'm gonna play fewer games, if I'm gonna choose a service, I'm gonna choose a service that I can keep the games and I have more of what I'm gonna keep. So that's me personally. Like I said, everyone is different. For example, I said I have Luna. For my son, if for me, I wouldn't buy Luna, but for my son, it's perfect. It's perfect. He has a little Fire TV. He has a little kid game section. It's perfect, just for him, and I have no problems with that. That actually works out just the way I like it. And as he gets older, if he wants to get an actual hardware device, or if Steam, not Steam, but or if cloud gaming gets to a higher level of more games being supported with cloud, no matter what service it is, I can upgrade them. Whatever it is, even if it's Luna, I can upgrade them. It is what it is, right? So no big deal. So Luna has its place, and it has its, it's a good place. It's a nice little spot for it. Just like Stadia has a nice little spot for it. Now, what I didn't have on this list, which was performance. I've heard, I've seen reviews and read reviews where it said Luna's performance was pretty darn good with the Luna controller. It wasn't that good for me. So I mean, I felt a little lag in the controller, and the size of the controller was always an issue for me. It's a little too cramped, a little too small. But maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was just what I was expecting. I don't know. Maybe Stadia spoiled me. Who knows? Stadia, on the other hand, the controller is bigger. I like that. I like how it feels, and it just works, man. Like I know in the very beginning. Well, like I heard in the very beginning when Stadia first came out, it was rough around the edges. But since I've had it, it just works, man. It feels like I'm playing offline. And that's not no exaggeration, man. That's for real. So, for me, grown me, not my son, Stadia is where it's at. FYI. So, as my opinion goes, I'm all about Stadia. For younger kids, maybe Luna, but for me, an adult, I'm all about Stadia. Tell me what you think. Put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have a different opinion on it. Maybe you have a different insight on it. I'm open to everything. Anyway, like and subscribe. You like more videos like this? Like and subscribe. Do your due diligence. Go down to the playlist. Stroll around. Enjoy yourself. Click a few videos. You're gonna like those as well. And I'll catch you on the flip side. We out.